Alright guys, so today we're going to talk about a couple of things Star Wars, and before we start, I just want to kind of list everything that we're going to go through, and then after that we'll break it down piece by piece. So we got the trailer that I'll talk about just a little bit, and then everything else is going to be about the game, Jedi, Fallen Order, Order 66 EA game. And so I will have the trailer running in the background along with a clip of the only Jedi Fallen Order clip that we have of anything as of the time of recording this video. What I'm going to do with this video for the game is I'm going to record the first half before this live stream on Saturday, so you guys will have already seen the live stream by the time this video goes up. But I'm recording this before the live stream, and I'm going to talk about what I hope the game does, what the game needs to do to be successful, and what the game needs to stay away from to be successful. And then after the live stream, I will record the second half of this video, and that will be talking about, based off of what we've seen, what I think, how I think the game will be. And before we get into any of that, just talk about this trailer. I'm going to have it playing in the background as long as I don't get copyright striked. If that becomes a problem, I'll fuck with it and figure it out. But it's not a bad trailer. The title's kind of stupid, I'll give it that. It's not a bad trailer. They have to fix everything that Rian Johnson did and conclude the Skywalker story all at once. So it's a lot to do. It's going to be on the longer side, I'm assuming, because they just have so much to put together. Talking about the Palpatine thing towards the end of the trailer, he's going to be a ghost. He's not going to be in the movie. Don't get excited for that. Everyone, Luke, Palpatine, Yoda, Obi-Wan, anyone that you see is going to be a ghost. Again, don't think the trailer is bad, but I don't think it didn't do anything for me. I'm not any more excited to see the movie than I was before. So let's just get into the game. So the first thing is this. Well, I guess let's talk about. I don't even know what this game is. So all we know as of the time of recording this right now is that it is a game made by Respawn, which are the people who made the Titanfall games, and it is about a Jedi after Order 66. Or during Order 66, rather. We don't really know if it's after or during. I believe it's during. And so it's pretty much all that's officially confirmed. Now, based off of this poster that is leaked, I believe it was supposed to be released during Star Wars Celebration, but it was leaked a couple of days before. And based off of this picture and a couple of the mocap behind the scenes things that they just showed off throughout the year, I believe the main character is a woman, and just based off of, again, some of the behind the scenes stuff, it would seem you are either some kind of Padawan or a Jedi Knight whenever Order 66 takes place. It seems like there's some training. This is all just based off of motion capture footage. It's nothing in-game. Seems like there's some training segments in there. You're not going to be, a full power Jedi. And I think that's kind of where they're going to go with the story of the game. Is you're going to be, a Padawan maybe, or a Jedi Knight, and you kind of have to teach yourself how to use the Force, how to be a Jedi, while all of the Masters are being executed during Order 66. And while we're talking about the kind of what I think is going to happen story-wise, I do believe that's going to be the most crucial part of this game. Is not so much EA, because I guess they're not the developers, but can Respawn craft not only a well-played, but a well-designed. But so for example, if you, just kind of going off on a tangent here, if you look at Titanfall 2, the campaign was well-designed, and the levels were well designed. It was different, it was creative, but the story wasn't bad or wasn't anything great. With Star Wars, you kind of have to create great characters, great stories, great levels. You kind of have to do everything with Star Wars. If you're not feeling the world, if you're not feeling the environment, it's not going to work. If you're not feeling the characters, it's not going to work. And EA is kind of renowned for putting out games with lackluster stories. If you just need some examples, I'll throw some up for you now. So that's kind of got to be the base of the game, is the story, the world building, the characters, and then we can move to the actual gameplay of the game. The lightsaber combat has got to feel responsive, and it's got to have some kind of lock system in it. If you need an example, look at the Force Unleashed 1's lightsaber combat compared to the Force Unleashed 2, lightsaber combat. The combat is just so much more refined. It feels like, you know, if you can choose what you're swinging at, and you're always going to hit what you intended to swing towards. And then same thing, just comparing to the Force Unleashed games, that's what I'm most familiar with as far as story Jedi games, is you want to look at your Force abilities. Now, I guess if you're a Padawan or a Jedi Knight, you know, you kind of might have to go through the training as the game goes along, or maybe get stronger as the game goes along, but you don't want to be weak. That's probably the worst thing you could do, is just make your character just be so reluctant of the Force that they just throw it away altogether. And I think that would be a big misstep. You gotta use that into the gameplay, and if you want to use that as kind of a progression system, do you unlock new abilities as you play through the game, that's fine. But you gotta get that right. You gotta get a power level that feels not too overpowered, because that can cause problems, but a power level that shows you're a formidable force to fight against. So those are like my two big things, is the story, characters, world building, and then the actual gameplay of the game. That's what this game needs to do well. Now, obviously, I shouldn't have to mention this, but it's EA. This game cannot be microtransaction heavy. It is a story game. This game will get shit on for that, so don't even bother with that. But the other thing I want to talk about is the game's length. EA games, Battlefront 2 was acceptable. That campaign length comes out acceptable length. It's not a good campaign by any means, but it's an acceptable length. The Battlefield 1 and the Battlefield 5 war stories, they're chopped up in individual stories, and while they're each only around 2 hours, the problem is the amount of war stories they give you don't add up to a long enough campaign time. But the war stories themselves, just at that 2 hour mark, you get so damn bored after about 30 minutes. So that's why you gotta keep the gameplay and the story interesting enough, keep your runtime upward of that 10 hour mark. You wanna look in a single player game now, or you're looking at like that 10 to 20 hour mark, and this is for, you know, your kind of linear story game. If we're going open world with this game, which I don't think they'll be doing, but if we're going open world with this game, you want to double, triple those numbers. You want to get in the 30s. But that's what I have to say about the new EA Star Wars game for right now. I will record the second half of this video once the live stream comes out. I'll throw some footage of the live stream up in the background, so just stare into this poster, and I'll see you guys on the second half of this video. Alright guys, so I have watched the trailer now at least 3 or 4 times. Gonna run it small in the background along with the episode 9 trailer. And I don't really have much to say about this game, or this trailer, I guess, to be honest. I expected to get at least some form of gameplay, even if it was a little 2-minute teaser of gameplay, but nope, we did not get anything in terms of gameplay. It was just a cinematic trailer, which you can't really tell much. You know, there's been some really bad games with some really good cinematic trailers, and some really good games, some really bad cinematic trailers. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter that much. I mean, it looks fine, the game looks good, visually it looks good, the story sounds interesting, the character's interesting, but, you know, it's all based on, we're gonna have to wait for later footage from the game in order to determine if this game is actually going to live up to all of the hype that I'm sure will surround it as it gets closer and closer to launch. The only thing I will say is it's the same studio as Titanfall, so the wall running kind of looks similar to Titanfall, so maybe it'll have some of those movement mechanics like Titanfall, kind of quicker paced movement. That's pretty much all I have to say from this trailer. Hope the game turns out good, obviously. If you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.